from the CPDM.
The coalitions you're talking about, led by Honorable Jean-Michel Nincho and Olivier Billet, have been banned by Territorial Administration Minister Tanganji Paul, who says that the coalitions are illegal. And Human Rights Watch has called on the government of Cameroon to lift the sanction and stop harassing opposition political parties in the country. What do you think about all this?
When the coalition came in place, I knew that the government would fight, because the highest thing the government of Cameroon is afraid of is coalition. And then they banned that coalition mainly because they visited Sisiku Ayuk Julius in prison, and knowing very fully that Sisiku Ayuk Julius was behind the kind of pressure the Amazonia came with. They knew that if these people have a coalition with him, he will give them the strategy to pressure the government of President Pobia. And then Tanganji came out to ban that organization or that coalition because of fear. That is the system. That is how the CPDM has been operating throughout this year. Everybody is aware of it. They don't want anything that would disturb them. And they have been struggling by all possible means to silence all opposition parties in Cameroon. And that forced me some time to say that there is no opposition parties in Cameroon. Cameroon is a one-party system. On pieces of paper, Cameroon is a multi-party system. But in reality, Cameroon is a one-party system, because you cannot tell me that for close to 60 years today, Cameroon is being governed by a political party. No opposition party has never, no one opposition party have ever taken power in Cameroon. The Social Democratic Front came in 1992. And President Pobia struggled by all possible means to frustrate that political party. Recently, other opposition party came up stronger than the CPDM in reality. But within the CPDM, they frustrated everything. Just look at what is happening in the National Assembly and the Senate. There is no way you can say this is a multi-party system, not just one way. So Tanganji is a good servant to the CPDM, and is struggling by all possible means to show to President Pobia what he can do in order to keep him in power. And my message to the oppositions, lead parties that were struggling to form the coalition, that they should not be discouraged. The only thing the government of Cameroon is trying to do is to intimidate. And there is no way you can change a political system without having leaders who will stand up for freedom without any fear. There is not just one way. So they have to keep doing it, drawing their strategy in a way that all Cameroonians will stand up one day against the regime in place. I saw the publication yesterday where Human Rights Watch is sent out calling on the government to stop oppressing and intimidating opposition parties in Cameroon. The government will not stop because they are benefiting from it. When they threaten, when they oppress, and then when they repress and arrest opposition leaders and militants, they stop and they go into it, maybe in hiding, and they keep on operating, and that is what they have been doing for all this year. So the government will not do anything positively to what Human Rights Watch sent outside, but the opposition parties should stand up and keep on doing it. It is not an issue. President Pobia make it. Even the Minister of Communication came out recently talking about there is no political prisoner in Cameroon. And then when you look through it, they don't want to put political figure like Maurice Kanto in prison because they want to show to the international community that they are not keeping any political prisoner. So this is an opportunity for people like him to stand up, not calling militant, because when they will call militant, they will threaten those militants, they will arrest them and put them in prison forever. But people like Maurice Kanto, people like O.C. Joshua, they can stand up and the government will not do anything. And these are people we are looking up to. that they should go and offices is not writing and holding meeting in hidden places. No, go to where it is necessary. That change can come from there and start from there.
Some interviews right now. We'll be right back in a short while.
Our system in Cameroon is an oligarchy, that is gerontocracy, that have decided to stay in power and hold us hostage for all the rest of the time. And this reminds me of the ancient days, especially the Greek society, where Plato actually says that it is for the elder man to rule and for the younger man to submit. They run Cameroon now as a village provision store, almost like what happened in my village, where Jack Sani could lock up a store and go to the farm and come back out to the even to the coast and come back after 1 weekend without answering any question to anybody. And so that is why the gerontocracy in Cameroon is running. They actually lock up Cameroon, they go and do their medical consultations abroad and come back even in years. We saw the pictures of Nyan Difenji coming back, and he looks almost like a person that will continue to drag Cameroon behind, because even his steps, the way he drags his steps, it means that that is how Cameroon will be dragged behind, because he can't move freely, he can't think vigorously, and there is no way. It's a vicious cycle that they continue to perpetrate in Cameroon here until we continue to need a change of a complete overhaul of this system.
This is not surprising given the political context of Cameroon, but nonetheless, it's deeply worrying from our perspective at Human Rights Watch. There is nothing illegal or clandestine about opposition parties making an attempt to form a coalition with which to speak in a common voice and with which to share ideas and strategies. This is something that functioning democracies allow and enable opposition and ruling parties to carry out across the world. The government of Cameroon should stop harassing opposition parties, and it should specifically lift the ban on these two coalitions, and it should publicly state that it is going to allow opposition parties, even opposition parties that challenge the government and some of their programs and policies, to have the space within which to operate.